IGT, baby.
What's cracking, y'all? It's your boy Dream Mafia coming back to you with another video. So I'm gonna give my predictions for SummerSlam Night 1 and Night 2. Y'all know it's gonna happen in this week on Saturday, Night 1, and Night 2 will be on Sunday. Now, before I get into the matches and get my thoughts on who's gonna win and all that, let me be honest real quick. I feel like this SummerSlam has not been the best, when it comes to like the build-up from it, just the excitement. All those things, like, it's really been lackluster. And to compare it to last year, I mean, words can't express how bad it was. One, the ticket prices being outrageous, that being a part of it. And then you add in to the match cards and what's available. I can count on my hands about 3 to 4 matches right now that I will really care about, and I feel like I had more time to really build something with, and just hope that it delivers. And the rest, come on now, I feel the same exact way, like less of a build, and don't really care much about it. But we'll get more into that as I break everything down. So I'm gonna go through night 1. We got 6 matches on each night, so I'll go through them, break them down, and get my thoughts on who's going to win, and then we're going to move forward. So without further ado, let's dive right into it right now. So we're going to start with Fatal Influence taking on Nikki, Brie, and Paige in a 6-woman tag team match. Now, I'll be honest, I don't care that much about it. Like, it really haven't really been a match that I look and say, you know what, I can invest some time into this and see what's going on. Now, outside of Fatal Influence, like JC Jane and them, I'd love to see how they've been performing, ever since they came to the main roster. And with them getting the women's tag team championships, definitely I want to see more of them being featured and all of those things. And if I look at this match from this standpoint right here, of course, Fatal Influence needs to win this. Like, there's no way, shape, or form that the Bellas and Paige should win this match. You want to carry all that momentum, with Fatal Influence and make them as like that top trio in the women's division. So, yeah, I think this is gonna happen here too. And I feel like JC Jane might be the one to pin one of the 3 women's right there to pick up the win. So I see that happening, and yeah, I'm just gonna move on from that because it really didn't gain that much excitement for me, and I could care less about it. As long as Fatal Influence wins, I'm straight. So there's that. Next, we have a 6-man tag team match of the Usos and Jacob Fatu taking on Royce Keys, Solo Sikoa, and L.A. Knight. And I feel like this particular match is going to be interesting. I definitely love the interactions they've been having lately, between Raw and on SmackDown. And, LA Knight, his beef with the Bloodline as well. And Royce Keys having history with Jacob Fatu, and their friendship starting to like crumble and all that stuff, especially when Jacob aligned himself with Roman in the Bloodline. So that became a thing. And then you got Solo in the mix too, somebody who was like not trustworthy and can turn on you in any given moment, but you can see how much he has hatred for the Bloodline, and you can tell that he's real serious about this too, and not gonna turn, because we all thought the same way. Like somebody like Solo, we can't trust, when it comes down to family. But I think in this particular fashion, he's pretty much serious about it, and I love the comedic role of him too. Like him playing his babyface, it's been pretty good. And from what I've been hearing from reports, they're gonna, stick with that and push him as a babyface character. But as I look at this match right here, I was going with the assumption that Royce Keys that night and Solo will lose, and I think it would come off a Solo eating a pin. But then what makes me double back on that is the sheer fact of when it comes down to Jacob Fatu and how he's been treating the Usos and all that too, there's gonna be some friction there. More so with Jay. And Crash Out Jay, he's gonna get fed up and all that too. And I feel like that's gonna potentially cause them the match. Now, who eats the pin of that? I will probably say it will either be Jimmy or it's gonna be Jay. It's not gonna be Jacob. Definitely ain't gonna be him. But one of them is gonna eat that pin, and I can see Royce Keys, LA Knight, and Solo picking up the victory. So I thought it was gonna be the Usos and Jacob winning and Solo eating the pin, but now I actually giving some thoughts and seeing the frictions they've been having these last couple of weeks on Monday Night Raw makes me believe that it's a big chance that the Usos and Jacob will lose. So we'll see what it turns out. But I got Royce Keys, LA Knight, and Solo winning that match, and it's gonna be very interesting. Definitely is gonna be some carnage, some crash outs. Expect to see that a lot. So definitely looking forward to that match, and I got them winning. Next, I got it's Gunther versus Nick Aldis. Now this match in particular has the best build-up for SummerSlam because of the history of Gunther and Nick Aldis. Gunther felt like he been getting screwed over a lot, and Nick Aldis playing a focal point in that, and basically telling him that he's not a best wrestler and he's just jealous because Gunther had a better wrestling career over him and just calling him a bum, all that stuff. And Nick Aldis got fed up with it. Like, yo, you're not gonna say disrespect me because you think you got quote unquote screwed over in championship matches and you couldn't get the job done and all that stuff. So I definitely love their interaction, especially what happened at Night of Champions after Sammy won the title and you saw them go at it, at the end of the show. I thought that was very, very good, and it gave me hints about it because seeing how they've been going back and forth lately, it had me thinking Nick Aldis, he's gonna potentially get in that ring. Like I could see that happening, and it just so happened to where Gunther kept pushing his buttons, and he got fed up. Like, you know what? Fuck that. How about we settle this in the ring, and we go at it? Like you keep calling me out, you keep telling me I'm this, that, and the third. All right, let me go show it to you in the ring right now. So I'm definitely excited for this matchup. Now, who I think is gonna win? Of course, Gunther needs to pick up the win. Not to say Nick Aldis is gonna get offense. Please believe that. Like, he's going to put on a performance and all that stuff. And I think based on what happens, and if Nick Aldis if he still got it, he can still go in the ring. Maybe there's a chance that he can potentially get back in the ring and probably give up his GM duties and become a full-time performer. We're gonna have to see, because I'm pretty sure I think it's gonna be a one-off type thing. But seeing the match and him having with Gunther, if that turns out good, I will not be surprised other superstars might call him out and he gets in the ring with them. So only time I'm gonna tell, but I'm looking forward to this. It's gonna be exciting. And I got Gunther coming out with the win, and for a fact he's gonna be looking to try to put the goals in the sleeper hole a whole lot. So expect Gunther to spam that sleeper hole finisher through the duration of this match and a bunch of chops. So I could honestly see that there too. So it's gonna be fun. Looking forward to it, but of course Gunther needs to win. He has no business losing this match. If Gunther loses this, then I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing with him? So hopefully he'll come out with the win and handle his business the way he's supposed to. Next, I got Liv Morgan versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. And this is where it gets real interesting, because if you know, Raquel had won the Women's Intercontinental Championship on Monday Night Raw after beating Soruka. And one thing about Liv Morgan is she makes it all about her. and put her in the main spotlight, especially on the Judgment Day. And coming into this match, I was saying that she could actually retain it, and it will set things up to when Stephanie Vaquer returns, and then they'll run it back. But now looking at it from this standpoint, I would not be surprised if Io somehow, some way beats her and becomes the new women's world championship or world champion. Now, I know certain fans, some people are going to be like against it, like, nah, Io had multiple times, you know, getting the title and all that stuff, you know, keeping on live and everything like that. Like, it's going to be mixed reactions to that. But I think in this particular fashion, I will want to see Liv lose and Io win, just so we can see that dissension from the Judgment Day. I feel like it ran its course. You know, you can't prolong it so long right now because it's now starting to get stale a lot. You know, and then you look at it from the standpoint of Liv Morgan. Since she won that title at WrestleMania, she never defended it. One can make the argument because of injuries for certain women's superstars, and the ones you got in the roster right now is they're pretty much not ready, and just no competition for Liv. So, how long can you keep pressing on? You know, not Liv putting that title on the line and all that shit. So I feel like at this point right now, give the belt to Io and let Liv, you know, put her intention on the Judgment Day, mostly like Raquel and Roxanne, because you know when she lose that title, she gonna feel a certain way, especially how Raquel won and she got her title and lost hers at SummerSlam. They could do something with that, and in my heart of hearts, that's the best direction they should go in. So, in this matchup, it's going to be interesting. You know, both women's going to get offense into it for sure. But I feel like the one that's going to come out strong is going to be Io. Now, if it's to the point where I know Roxanne and Raquel gets involved and potentially cause Liv, that's when everything's going to, like, turn, like, you know, pretty much be the downfall. So, we shall see. I got Io winning and all that, and become the new women's world champion. So there's that. Next, I want to talk about CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE championship. And for this build-up right here, it haven't really been the best, and I'm pretty sure that we all know what it was leading up to. That's why Sammy only had the title for only 9 days, so it could set things up for Punk and Cody. You know, only difference is this time is Punk having the title instead of Cody Rhodes. And we really knew just the conversation they had after the Raw from WrestleMania, and Punk was telling Cody, like, pretty much you never know when a championship opportunity falls out of the sky and all that stuff. And Cody telling him, you want a title shot, just say win. And how the roles reverse now, and when Cody pretty much got put out of the equation and couldn't compete in a championship match against Sammy, his replacement ended up being Punk. So it kind of already set everything up to happen right there. And when I look at in this match right here, I feel like it is going to be good. I feel like both men are going to deliver. However, I honestly see CM Punk retaining because Cody should not get the title back. Absolutely not. Like, it should remain with CM Punk and let him have his run with the title. Now, is he going to hold it for a whole year? No. I don't see that happening at all. So, I do think on this standpoint right now for Cody is have him lose. If he gets his rematch, they're going to probably run it back again. Or it might be a triple threat when Sammy try to insert himself into the mix and stuff like that. But I still have CM Punk coming out as the winner of all of this. So as I look at it, it's going to be very, 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 very close. Both men are going to put on a masterclass performance. But I feel like when it comes down to the wire and the pressure's on, it's when Punk potentially will take advantage of Cody and probably hit him with a GTS to retain his title. So I got Punk winning over Cody and retaining. So we shall see. Anything can happen, but I hope not. I feel like in this case for Cody, lose, stay away from the title picture. That's it. You know, it's okay. You could do certain things for him that doesn't revolve about the world championship. You can. So I hope they go with the right decision, and I hope Punk comes out as the winner of that match. So there's that. And of course, we gotta talk about the main event of night one, and that is Femi versus Brock Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell. And this match I am excited for. I'm excited for because this should be the final chapter in the book when it comes down to Oba and Brock. You know, I feel like after Oba, we think of Brock when he retired at WrestleMania, only to come back and attack Oba Femi, then proceeds to face him. I forgot what PLE it was. Y'all let me know in the comments down below. Beats Oba, and then they run it back for a third time, and you know, this time around inside Hell in a Cell. So there's no question about it. Who should win this match? It should be Oba Femi. Now, how he should win should be in dominant fashion. You know, it being a Hell in a Cell is rare occasions where we'll get this type of match right here. I'm glad they got rid of the PLE as a whole and made Hell in a Cell only for special feuds that, you know, deserves that type of stipulation of a match. And for this right here, we need color. I'm not gonna lie, for the last couple of cells we had, we did get color. You know, the ones we had were with Punk and Drew McIntyre, very, 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 very good. And I enjoyed that a whole lot too. A lot of crash outs, a lot of carnage. Definitely both men bleeding as well. Like, it was fantastic. I'm expecting the same thing in this match for Oba and Brock. You know, the build up for it, you know, it has not been the best, you know, between Brock saying basic shit and all that. Probably get hit with an F5 and all that stuff. Or he hit Oba with an F5 and then leaves and that shit. And then you got Oba calling him a coward, calling him out every single week. Like that type of stuff. So as much as that has not been the best, I know when it comes down to them meeting face to face inside of that cell, they will deliver. And yeah, I'm expecting Brock to be looking like a stuffed pig. You know, that's the old saying when it comes down to them, you know, bleeding and shit. If you know, you know. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm just looking also forward to Oba pretty much handling business and packing him up. And hopefully that'll be Brock's swan song because he in his hometown of Minnesota. And if this is how he goes off and rides in the sunset, hopefully for one last time, that should close the chapter right then and there. So we shall see what happens. I'm just looking forward to, I know it's going to be a whole lot of carnage, and I know Oba is going to handle business and do what he has to do. So I got him winning that match inside Hell in a Cell. So to go over night one real quick, I got Fatal Influence beating the Bellas and Paige. I have Royce Keys, Alan Knight, and Solo Sikoa beating the Usos and Jacob. I got Gunther beating Nick Aldis. I have Io Sky beating Liv Morgan and become the new Women's World Champion. I got CM Punk retaining his title over Cody. And last but not least, I have Oba Femi dominating Brock Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell. So that's night one. So now it's time to transition to night two. And night two, I'm going to be honest, I can only hope it delivers, because looking at it right now, it's kind of like a meh, so to speak. But you never know, you know, what can turn out. But I'm going to start with the match that I feel like really didn't get that much attention. And I'm gonna deep dive into who should have been in this matchup anyway, and that is the Trick Williams versus Baron Corbin. And Baron Corbin ended up coming back 2 weeks ago on SmackDown when Carmelo Hayes was facing Trick Williams, and it's good to see Baron Corbin back, and he just looking very dominant and all that stuff. So it was good to see him and all. However, for him to be put in this United States Championship match over Carmelo Hayes don't make no sense to me whatsoever. And this is the problem I have with creative and, of course, Triple H. Because you've seen the history of Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams in NXT. And we always said that was going to be looking dope. Like, those two know each other. And when it goes in the ring, when it comes to promo talks, they fucking deliver. And we were expecting the same thing when they got to the main roster, including me. And we felt like this is the perfect time to do so. And in this case for Carmelo Hayes, I don't get why he keep getting he keep getting put in these scenarios where they do not want to feature this man on any type of PLEs. This is the second PLE he should have been a part of that made sense, but they never took advantage of it. The other time it was WrestleMania, and he should have faced Trick Williams for that United States Championship. And this moment right here on SummerSlam, where he should have faced Trick Williams for that United States Championship. And both times he's not featured on it, and ended up being Baron Corbin. It's no knock to Baron Corbin. Like, I'm not knocking him and all that. Salute to him. I'm glad he's back and all, but let's keep it real right now. Carmelo Hayes should have been in this match. And the sheer fact that he's not don't make no sense to me at all. And yes, I am pissed off about it. I am. I just hate to see him being done bad this way, man. Made no sense to me. But look at this match right here. I feel like it's gonna be okay. Do I see Carmelo Hayes being involved in this way? Maybe. Lil Yachty, of course, he's gonna be sidelined with Trick, so he may try to do something there too, and all that stuff. But I have Trick Williams retaining over Baron Corbin. Yeah, I don't envision a circumstance that he comes back and he takes that title over Trick. I don't see that happening. So I think that's how it's gonna play out. The match shouldn't go over 10 minutes, which is something we should get that match under like 10 minutes or so. But I got Trick Williams retaining his United States Championship over Baron Corbin. So there's that. Now, this match I want to talk about, I feel like could be the match of the night for night 2, and that is Penta versus Chad Gable. This is gonna be exciting. The build-up for this has not been the best, because it just happened, recently, and they had no time to actually cook up the way it did. But I feel like none of that gonna matter, because when these two get into the ring, both of them are gonna put on a masterclass performance. We know Penta, his acrobatic skills and all. We know Chad Gable as a technician wrestler as well. It's gonna be fun. It's going to be very, very, very fun. And I feel like the crowd is going to be hyped to see this happen. Especially for Chad Gable, because like I said, he's born and raised in Minnesota. So that also gives him a fair advantage into this. But who I think is going to win? Truthfully, it should be Chad Gable. Now, when it comes to Penta, he had a magnificent run with the Intercontinental Championship, and I think it's time now to pass the torch to somebody else. That person ended up being Chad Gable. Penta ran his course with it. He's a very, very talented wrestler and all that stuff, and I feel like he's going to do good even without the title. But in this case for Chad Gable, and for him to pretty much redeem himself, especially after now moving away from the El Grande Americano character, this is a brand new start right here. And what better more to make it even more exciting than for him to win it in his hometown. So I honestly see Gable coming out with the victory. I feel like the match itself It's gonna be a whole lot of fun. They're gonna probably go past 10 minutes or so. Cause they're gonna give him some time to cook up. As they should. I think they're gonna give him time to cook up. And it's gonna be very interesting. So I'm looking forward to that. I got Chad Gable becoming the new Intercontinental Champion. And we'll see what happens. So definitely looking forward to that match. And the next match I want to talk about. I could give two flying fucks about this one. And that is Danhausen taking on Dominic Mysterio in a Human Money on a pole match, I believe. Which just sounds stupid as a whole. Like, Danhausen feuding with the Judgment Day has been literally a waste of time. At first, it was okay in the beginning stages, and him cursing both Dom, Liv, and them and all that stuff. But now it's pretty much just it ran its course right now. I feel like people gonna look at this as a bathroom break, so to speak. That's how they're gonna look at it. I think it's just dumb and just a waste of time. But I feel like the person gonna win this match is gonna be Danhausen. Of course it is. The man is super over right now. Crowd enjoys him as well. So I don't envision Circus and Dom even winning this. And of course you're gonna have some interference with big head ass JD McDonut and all, but somehow, some way, I feel like Danhausen is gonna come away as the winner. And that's it. Like, I just wanted to get done and move the fuck on. Plain and simple. Like, I just don't need taking up like more time on the on the PLE. So there's that. But moving on to the next match, we have Finn Balor taking on Sami Zayn in a number one contender match on who's gonna face the winner of CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. Now this match will be fun, and Sami Zayn, the way how he been crashing out lately too, especially after losing a title, the way he did, he's gonna be on another level. And in this case for Finn Balor, he's looking to get back into the title picture again. So the match is gonna be fun. Excuse me. It's gonna be fun, and I'm gonna enjoy it. Who I think is gonna win is where it gets tricky at, because Sammy wanted his get back to becoming world champion, to get his undisputed WWE championship back, which I don't see happening. I think that was just a one-off type thing, just to get it out the way and him winning a world championship. I do not envision a circumstance to get that title right back. But in this case, for Finn Balor, I could honestly see him winning this match over Sammy. And I think it would be also like a breath of fresh air too, because in this case for Finn, it's like you distance yourself from the Judgment Day. You're on you're on SmackDown now, and of course, he's not gonna be the type to get lost in a shuffle. So what better more to put yourself in the title picture again by beating Sami Zayn and having an opportunity to face either Cody Rhodes or CM Punk. And I know that match is gonna be fun as well. But I feel like in this case for Sammy, to stay on topic, he's gonna be so fed up and so desperate to win to where Finn Balor will be able to take advantage of his mistakes and will hit him with a coup de grace to come away as the winner and the number one contender. I can see that happening. And of course, that being the case, and that do happens, you better pray to the higher ups that any water bottles that come across Sami Zayn, man, is going to be destroyed. Like, this man gonna be on a tirade destroying water bottles like a motherfucker. So if he loses, they better brace themselves. That's all I gotta say about that. But I got Finn Balor coming away as the winner of that match. Next, we have a fatal 5-way match to determine who's going to be the inaugural WWE Women's Champion. And you have Charlotte Flair versus Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green versus Tiffany Stratton. And I guess they're going to reveal like the 5th person on SmackDown. But in this matchup, I'm not going to lie. I think it will make the most sense if Jade or Charlotte gets that win. That's what I feel like. I don't know who the 5th competitor going to be. I'll find out about it once I do my recap video on it. But if I'm being real, the 2 people that I already think of right now when it comes to this match that potentially will win and become the inaugural WWE Women's Champion is either Jade Cargill or Charlotte Flair. And both of them got history with Rhea Ripley when she do come back. So, having said all that, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say Jade Cargill come away with the win. And how it happens, I'm pretty sure both BFAB and Meeching are going to get involved. Not to say it's going to be a difference maker, so to speak. You know they're going to try to do their shenanigans as always, about distracting the ref or trying to take out both Tiffany and Chelsea Green out the equation. And probably Charlotte to give Jaden an advantage. But, you know, only time I'm going to tell. And we'll see what happens. I would have said Charlotte, but seeing that she's still in connection with Alexa Bliss and stuff like that, I do not envision a circumstance that she gets that. Maybe I'm wrong, and they somehow swerve us and Charlotte end up winning. But seeing what's happening right now and what's available to us, I'm not gonna lie, the only person I feel like can come out of this is Jade. So I got her winning this match. I don't know who the 5th person is, so I can be wrong. But from what I'm seeing right now, I'm gonna go with Jade Cargill. So there's that. And of course, we have the main event of night 2, and that's Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Now this match, do I care about it? Nah, not really, because we already know what it's just bound to happen right now. Like, they've been taking a trip down memory lane these last couple of weeks and all that stuff, and it haven't really like hit that much outside of Roman Reigns cooking Seth Rollins on the mic last week on Monday Night Raw. You know, that was the only excitement that came out of that shit. But we could tell just based off the history between these two, it's like Roman Reigns has to be Seth Rollins. Like, see how much Seth been playing mind games with him, and he's saying he owned them in so many ways and all that stuff. It's like you kind of see that this is desperate for Roman to come away as the winner. And, you know, in this case for Seth Rollins, does it benefit him? You know, if he wins against Roman? Of course it does, but I don't see that happening at all. And knowing Roman, he's not losing that title anytime soon. So the match is gonna be, I think it's gonna be solid. But of course, when it's all said and done, Roman Reigns is going to get the job done and finally get over that hump of beating Seth Rollins. So I can honestly see that. It's just based on how they execute it. So yeah, in this case, Roman gonna close the chapter of Seth Rollins and move the fuck on from that. That's where you can actually close the book, and they don't have to compete with each other ever again, because they already got so much history right here, and it makes no sense to run this back again after this matchup. So I think it's a one and done type thing, and they'll probably go their separate ways. But it would be more poetic for Roman that he actually beat Seth Rollins and got it done. So I got Roman Reigns retaining his title over Seth. So those are my night 2 predictions. To run it back again, I got Trick Williams retaining his title over Baron Corbin. I got Chad Gable beating Penta, becoming a new Intercontinental Champion. I have Danhausen being Dominic, unfortunately, because I don't care that much about the match. I got Finn Balor beating Sami Zayn and being the number 1 contender to face either Cody or CM Punk. I got Jade Cargill winning the Fatal 5-Way match, to be the interim WWE Women's Champion. And last but not least, I got Roman Reigns retaining his World Heavyweight Championship over Seth Rollins. So those are my predictions for SummerSlam. Yeah, let me know in the comments down below. What's your predictions? Who you got winning that match, these matches and stuff? And are you excited for SummerSlam? I mean, honestly, for me, it's just not hitting that well for me. And I feel like they could have did a way better job on promoting it better, making these feuds a lot more interesting and giving them more time to cook up. The sheer fact they didn't do that, and I could count off my hands how many they actually had an opportunity for, and I think it's going to be interesting. It's crazy beyond me. But that's WWE food. That's TKO for you. Typical shit. So I'm not surprised about it. But let me know how you feel down in the comments down below. I appreciate y'all love and support. Road to 300 subscribers. Continue to keep God first as the process of anything that you do at life. Your time will come. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Peace.
Game over, yeah!